Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Live to Roll channel. I am your host for the day, Brianna Wheeler, and we're back with another women's disability show. Today, I'm in black and white. Enjoy it. We're having a little bit of issues with it, but don't mind it. It's just we're vibing out today. We have some great guests. We're gonna do a get to know me, so we're just gonna get to know more about them, their life, what they've gone through, maybe what they have going on right now in their lives, and about their cannabis use and how it has helped them inside of their personal life and what their experience has been with that. So we're going to get into introductions. Before we do that, I just want to say a shout out to mobility professionals and urology professionals for sponsoring us. We do appreciate you guys. We are going to talk more about them at the end of the show, but they are absolutely fantastic. So check them out. Okay, so I'm Brianna. I was injured 6 years ago from a gunshot wound. I am a T12 through L5, and I am from Los Angeles, California. Let's go to the other Brianna, so we can get it situated right now.
Hi.
So you want to do your introduction? So just how long you've been injured, your name, and where you're from.
Absolutely. So my name is Brianna also. I am originally from Wisconsin, but I recently just moved to North Carolina. I was injured in 2011. I was drinking and driving, lost control of my car, and I'm paralyzed from my belly button down. So I'm a T10. And I just kind of recently started working on my recovery, honestly. I just got rid of my transfer board like this year and started doing a bunch of PT. So I have a really interesting journey compared to a lot of people who kind of had their PT right away. And
Okay, and how long have you been using weed?
I've been using weed since probably my early high school years. So before I was injured.
Yeah. Okay, for sure. Love it. Okay, we'll go back to you right now when we do our statements. That's after our introduction. So, Ashley, you want to do your introduction?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley. C4 Quad, they say. From Chicago, was injured in 2019. Car accident. It was, again, like a drinking and driving, but not me. I wasn't driving, contrary to popular belief. And I was injured with my twin, who's not here today. You might see her pop up later. And yeah, did I say everything?
Yeah. How long have you been using weed for?
Uh, so I first tried weed when I was 21, but really didn't start using it till I became disabled. So yeah, 2019,
Okay.
2020.
Yeah, I feel that. All right, for sure. Okay, and last but not least, let's go to Lizzie.
See,
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. What's up? I'm Lizzie. I was injured in a car accident in 2019. So I've been injured for 3 years. I am a T5, T6. What else were you supposed to say? I'm sorry, I forgot.
How long have you been using weed, and where are you from? Did you say where you're from?
Oh, no, I'm from Colorado. And
Okay.
I've been using weed off and on since I was a teenager.
Okay. Yeah, same. I feel like I've been using it a lot. Well, I used it when I was a teenager, of course, like coming up, and like it wasn't until like more my college years that I really started smoking a lot. And then after my disability, it was like a new love for weed. I feel like me and weed have a different bond. Um, After Ashley said that, I was like, I vibe out with that. I agree. Thank you, Nikki, for joining in the chat. If anybody's joining us live, please feel free to drop your name down. Feel free to write any questions. Feel free to say anything. Sometimes I know when I'm watching YouTube live and I start asking a question and all of a sudden they're like on a different topic, I'm like, why am I going to even type that? Type it in. We're going to go through it. We're going to re-answer it. What that does is it does help the people that watch it later on, because obviously they're not there. We can't answer their questions right away. So we do appreciate that stuff. If not, just say your name, where you're from, talk to each other. We love the chat talk, so don't feel like you're intruding or anything like that. Yes. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to our questions. Our first question is going to be, tell us about yourself in 3 statements. So let's go to Ashley.
Okay, when you sent me these questions, this was hard. But I think I figured it out. So 3 things to like really get to know me. I feel like you need to know I love music. A little obsessed. I'm also obsessed with One Tree Hill. Very
Okay.
obsessed. It's a problem. And my third thing is, see, this was the hard one. I would say I'm a gypsy. I hate staying in one place for too long. I'm tired of being in Chicago. I need to move. Like, I'm tired of it. So
Okay,
yeah, that's
okay.
my
Free
third thing.
spirit. Love it, love it. All right, all right. Let's go to Lizzie.
Um, well, first thing I always tell people when they get to know me is I'm very forward. I don't hold anything back. I have no filter. So my intentions aren't to offend you. I just say it how it is, how I see it. It is what it is. Um, yeah, I'm very eclectic with music. I love music. Like, I don't want the TV. I'd rather listen to music all day. And yeah, geez, this is hard. Oh, and books. Yeah, give me a book. I don't care what
All
it is,
right.
I'll read it.
Oh, I love books too. Yes.
Yeah, same. I found a new love for books, honestly, during the pandemic. I've never read like that before, but I've been obsessed with reading now, and I really, really love it. Um,
Later.
okay, let's go to Brianna. Do you like Brianna or do you like Brie?
Either or, either or.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
actually
So let's do
But
Brie for now. What were you?
so three things that people would need to know about me is I am a helper. I like to help people. I like taking care of people. I like to be outside in the outdoors. And then my third thing is I'm obsessed with Halloween. So those are three really important things you need to know about me.
Oh, I love that. So are you excited that Halloween's coming up?
I was excited as soon as 4th of July was over.
That's so funny. Are you a decorator? Do you love to decorate or you just like to celebrate like the actual day of Halloween?
Both. So I recently moved, and so I got rid of all of my like Halloween and Christmas decorations. So I had to start over fresh. So that's going to be really exciting to kind of go back out and like start collecting new stuff. So that's what I'm really excited about this fall.
Yeah, I love that so much. Great, great, great. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit more about weed and how cannabis has kind of benefited your life and what you use it for. What is your go-to? What it has helped you in? Anything of that sort of nature. I know a lot of people are hesitant to kind of try it after their disability, but I say this with all of our stories, we're all very different. Okay, so for anybody listening about our weed experience, you know, it's like anything else. You have to try it. There's different types, there's different flavors. There's different if you're on an empty stomach, if you're not, if you're home alone. So there's a lot of different factors to it. And there's a lot of different types of smokers and how much you smoke as well. So those could all be things that are benefiting your experience. Sometimes I hear people say that they had a negative first experience and kind of just got turned off of the whole thing of weed and don't want to try it again, which I understand, but I just want to say like there is things as a microdosing and try and get it in batches and seeing what works best for you. Okay. All right. So how has cannabis benefited you in your life? And what do you use it for? Let's go to Lizzie.
I mostly use it to like help me sleep because after my injury, I feel like my ability to sleep just like went straight out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll sleep maybe like a good 3, 4 hours, and then like the rest of the night I'm just laying there. So I use it mostly to help me sleep.
Okay. And that changed after your disability? You feel like right afterwards?
Oh yeah, right. Because it's like you're experiencing nerve pain for the first time, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
that takes all your attention. You're just like, oh my goodness, what is this? What are these new like feelings and sensation? Even though they say we can't feel, it's like, no, this is what's going on in the inside of our body, and mentally, it's driving me bananas. I'm going bonkers. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, especially at night, since like we finally like get to lay down and our body's trying to relax, all the spasms and everything, really just keeps me up at night.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Weed definitely helps me with sleep. How about you, Ashley? What does weed help you with in your life?
honestly, everything. I wouldn't function if I didn't have weed. It helps me with. There's people in my kitchen. Sorry if I'm getting a little awkward. There. But,
You're good. You're
helps
good.
with my
We got you,
anxiety,
queen.
right? Helps me with my anxiety, my depression. Helps me eat because I don't have an appetite now after my injury. I don't know why. And then it also helps me sleep, like Lizzie. Like I wouldn't. I notice when I don't smoke before I go to sleep, I sleep even less than I do like regularly. And that's just because I be spasming a lot. Like my legs love to dance. I don't know why. So
Hmm.
yeah, I hope I got everything. But the biggest ones are my depression and anxiety. That's why I really take it because I would
Yeah.
not be like who I am without it.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel you. It's definitely been a journey, and like I've had to realize like, am I using it to like numb myself, or am I using it to help me? And I realized like, no, it does help me. Like honestly, I wouldn't be right here in this chair if it wasn't for me being able to smoke. Like it helps me with my nausea. It helps me with me being able to, with my appetite as well. After I got in my injury, my body was in such an immense amount of pain. My nerves were so bad. Like Lizzie said, I couldn't eat. I was nauseous from the medication. Everything tasted weird and different to me. I was just like, I was in my head. I was so depressed. You know, it was so hard for me to go out in public and be confident in myself. And my body would just ache inside of pain. And marijuana has helped me with that. Of course, in the beginning, I was a little hesitant, only because with my medication, it did make me feel a little weird. So I remember like I got kind of nauseous with it and stuff, but I gave it time, and now I am active weed user. I smoke weed all day long, literally. I like really does help me with everything that I need to get through and to keep pushing. Um, it kind of helps with my inflammation. You know, it helps with whatever it is. It helps with the numerous amount of things like we all said, you know. And so we're going to hear what Bree has to say about it too and how it's benefited you inside of your life.
So since I started smoking before my injury, like I would assume that my beginning journey with weed was similar to yours, is more of like a social thing and like trying to like really connect with others. So that's how it started. But then like yeah, post injury, it really did help with pretty much. I can relate to a lot of what you said, is the anxiety and the eating and the stress and the sleep. I can fall asleep, but staying asleep is my issue as well. And so like in the morning I wake up and I'm a ball of nerves. Um, and I like that you highlighted, Brianna, that there is different, different strands can work for different things, different types for different people. And I know some people who can't smoke it, but they can eat it, or, vice versa. And like for me, I'd rather smoke it if I'm using it for like my anxiety or my depression or for my nausea, because that's like a really quick way to get that support. But when it comes to like muscle pains and aches, and if I worked out too hard or something, if I need it for like my body, like edibles is for the way to go. And so like I think it's really important to highlight that there is different ways to try it, that like if one way doesn't work, there is possibly another way. um, and things can change over time. You just got to try your different options. I'm in a place where we can't really get a lot of edibles, so I do have to lean more on smoking it, which is just the situation that we're in right now. But when I go to places where I can get the edibles, I stock up, because that little bit of a difference, like taking it in through your body and like having it, work its way that way, it just really makes a lot of difference with that back pain and all the things that we deal with.
You're muted.
Oh yeah, I can't hear you.
Appreciate it, babes. Okay, sorry. So yeah, you touched on a great thing. Not just with flower are there different strains and different types. There's different drinks. There's different things to eat. There's cookies. There's brownies. There's different. Maybe you eat half a brownie, and it doesn't do the same thing as if you ate a whole one or if you just ate a bite. There is a lot of experimenting with it. Like, don't get me wrong. But when you do find your mixture of what works, I know it does affect you a lot better than the prescription medication that they give you. Any prescription medication. I just feel like your body gets used to that after a while, and you kind of need more doses, more drugs to kind of counteract what it's already affecting you. It's like, I'm taking this medication for my pain, but it's making me nauseous, which is making me take this other medication, which is making my spasms work. So now I have to take another medication, and it's just like upping. And so, yeah, which is crazy to me that they push that so easily, but won't help with like the simple injections and stuff. And for me, my Medi-Cal is not the best, and they literally won't give me anything out beside prescription medications. Like I have to fight to get my lidocaine shots, and I've tried to put in requests and off referrals to get different pain sensors and an electric stimulator and stuff. I always get denied. But why is it that you're okay with giving me all these drugs that affect my body differently, you know? So yeah, love that. There's definitely a bunch of things to try out there. I say take it easy and then slowly increase, probably like 30-45 minutes, and increase if you need to, because I've had bad experiences off edibles where I'm just like totally like knocked the hell out, and I'm like, whoa, I come out from a different time zone and shit. But there's so many different things. Out here in LA especially, there's like millions of different brands and different types of things that you could eat and drink. So yeah. Love it. Okay, let's see. Let's see what's going on. What'd you say?
I use it for pain. I forgot to mention I use it for pain too.
Mm-hmm.
Nerve pain and physical pain. I don't think I said that.
I love that.
That's
and I hate it. You know, it is feeling hard because a lot of people are like, oh, like you need a smoke to get through the day, you know, but like you don't realize like what a difference it is for our bodies. And I feel like a lot of times, since our pain is internal, people get used to us in a wheelchair and they don't understand the internal pain that we've learned how to smile through and learned how to live through, because if not, we would just be stuck in our bed wasting away, you know. So we've learned how to keep going despite it. It doesn't mean it doesn't fucking hurt. It doesn't mean that it's not hard, you know. And I don't think like it's not a, sometimes I get triggered because there's not a nice way to say that, especially like over and over again, you know. And I have to be understandable too, because it's not like an open wound. They're not seeing it, you know. So it's hard for people to understand unless you tell them. But yeah, I'm working on that boundary, kind of like letting people know like, hey, I need a smoke, or I haven't smoked yet, you know, or like whatever the case may be, and not feeling judged about it, which we'll get into. I just want to shout out Ben. Thank you so much, Ben, for your super chat. He gave us $4.20. Woo, we love that. Cannabis is awesome. Have a great day and show. We really appreciate your support. Nicole, I'm curious how each of you benefit from cannabis, like specifically what does it do for you? We kind of talked about that already, but it mostly mellows out my nerves, my pain, you know, it does tons of different things for us, which we discussed. And Ben gave us the fist bump. Thank you so much, Ben. Appreciate you. If you guys are joining us in, feel free to drop any questions. We love them. Okay, let's see.
One thing I didn't mention was that it does help with my creativity as well. I don't know if anyone else has that as well. If you're trying to like get in a creative flow, and if you're already used to the smoking or eating it, and you're like, you know, in a place where you're already comfortable with it, yeah, use it to get in a place where you can meditate, do yoga. I like working out after smoking. I like, you know, doing work and sending emails and like building social media content after smoking. I feel more creative when you have that of an outlet. So I don't know if anyone else can relate to that as well, but that was one thing that I was thinking of when I got the questions earlier too.
For sure. Ashley, are you going to say something?
Yes, I was just going to say, am I muted? No, okay. I just was going to say that I agree, because for me, like I've noticed after my injury, I have very low energy. And I used to be a creative. Like I went to school for that, everything. Like I love being a creative. And after my injury, I found that it's like not really there unless I smoke. Like all of a sudden, like music is different. Watching a TV show, I like notice different things. I went to school for film, so I notice different things. And I become more like, I don't know, myself. That's why I smoke. Like I wouldn't be myself if I didn't smoke. I don't know. It gives me energy and it makes me feel like me.
Yeah. And people that are not daily smokers don't really understand that statement, because they're like, what the hell? If I smoked like that, I would be like stuck, you know? But it's different when you use it frequently. You know, I would say, I guess it is a tolerance, but it does help with different things. It's not that you don't get that same stone laughing controllably feeling, I feel like, that I got when I was like first smoking in high school, you know, when I was like a teenager. It's not like that, you know. And also I feel like people get they misunderstand when I say that we use it for mental health, like anxiety and depression, because they kind of relate it to alcohol and the fact of like numbing their pain. But I feel like that's not true because my anxiety and depression will take over my life. My own head can be my own worst enemy, and I can go forever. I can go days and days being stuck in that mindset. Marijuana gives me a way to take myself out of that emotion and kind of look at things realistically and without taking that major emotion into it. And unless you have depression and anxiety, I don't think you will understand how much it takes over your body and mindset. But yeah, I think that's an important thing to point out. And it's okay if you feel like that's why you use it. You know.
Yes, I mean, Brianna, you probably notice maybe at the roulettes, but like if I don't smoke before talking to people, I'm like not myself. Like I'm like a weirdo. Like I don't
Yeah.
talk to people. I'm kind of like looking like, okay, I don't really want to be here. But if I smoke, you get me.
Yeah. Love it so much. That's so true. Great way of putting it. Velma
Yeah.
said, "Hi, girls. Thank you all for sharing and helping others. And Ben, a giant thanks for all your support to Shawn and the Live to Roll family." Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We love you so much, Velma. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to be talking about are what are you most passionate about in your life right now? So let's go to Bree. What's going on in your life, baby girl? Fill us
Ooh,
in.
I got some fun stuff. So right now, I just moved from Wisconsin to North Carolina, so it's been a fun adventure, just like trying to get used to a new place, new living environment, and all that stuff. It's been a challenge for sure, but it's been really great. I love it. I love the excitement of it all. And then for like my personal and like work life, I do a lot of stuff for Wheel with Me Foundation and Wheel with Me Fitness. So we host empowerment nights for wheelchair users online every season. We just wrapped up our summer one last week. It went really really well. Had a bunch of presenters in wheelchair who are wheelchair users, and then when we have time, we record fitness exercises for our app, which is Wheel with Me Fitness, and we just created an app for wheelchair users by wheelchair users so we can help them stay fit and independent. And those are my big projects because like I said earlier, I just really love helping people. So if I can connect them with resources or fitness apps or different nonprofits that can help give them funding, like whatever their needs are, if I can help get them met, like the happier our community will be.
No, I feel you. That's what this channel is all about, and like that's a big love for me too as well. So let me ask you some questions. So did you move to North Carolina because of the whole Will With Me Foundation? Like, is that your purpose of moving out there, or why did you move out there? Okay, so how did that all go down? Like, were you already interested in fitness before, or like how'd you really get connected with that?
So, so Jesse Strawham is who is the founder of the nonprofit and who also launched the app. And so I was actually working with her last summer before the app kind of took off. I was starting to help her with her empowerment nights and her online social media stuff. And then I started helping out with her fitness group. So she has an online support group as well for fitness. And then I was like, yeah, I can help lead some workouts and I can, help lead this and that. And I just got really comfortable with it. It just felt really natural. I got really good results of my own. I had lost like over 70 pounds in the last like year and a half, and it changed my success and being able to transfer and being able to like go to the bathroom on the toilet. Like I just learned how to pee on the toilet this year. Otherwise, I was like using closed system in bed. And so that's kind of where it is. This passion just kind of really grew. And Jessie gave me the opportunity to move in. She's like, hey, I got an extra room. You want to come and like live here and record fitness workouts? I was like, yeah. Yeah. She caught me right in the middle of January when it was snowy in Wisconsin. I was like, yeah, let's get out of here.
I love
So,
it. Wow, what a huge leap. That's so crazy, like just for you to be able to pack up your stuff and like take off. But what a blessing, that you were able to find somewhere to go. And it is hard to take those opportunities when they come. It's not an easy thing for change.
blessing
So
though.
so that's super cool. So your whole fitness journey and helping other people on their fitness journey. So before your injury, how much into fitness were you?
Not really at all. I didn't really do much of any kind of structured exercises. I mean, once in a while I go hiking. I love spending time outside, but I didn't focus on nutrition. I didn't focus on how my body really looked. I was always like a little overweight. And once I became paralyzed, like it's so much easier to gain that weight and to not be able to lose it. It's so much harder to get rid of it once we have it. And that's what I learned. And I just got to a place where I was like, man, I want to start dating again. And no one's going to like me if I'm this big girl in a wheelchair. And so I realized that I needed to love myself. And so that's why I started this journey. I was like, well, I need to love myself before someone else can love me. And I'm honestly the healthiest I've ever been, even before I was in a wheelchair. And I'm really proud of that. And I want to give that to other people because they're like, oh, I'm in a wheelchair. I can't work out. I can't get fit. It's too hard. It's like, no, girl, I can get you fit. Like, I just work out at my house all the time. Like, I don't even got a gym membership. Like, everything I do is at home. Like, let me show you what we can do from home. Like, I got you, girl.
Mhm.
So yeah,
I love that.
I want to bring that to other people, and that was the whole point of the app. Is we wanted to make fitness for wheelchair users accessible. Like the app has workouts you can do in bed, even so. Like people who have caregivers who they have to wait for people coming in and out of their house, they can get that stuff done before their caregiver even gets in there.
So how can people access this app?
So the Wheel with Me Fitness app is on both the Apple Store and the Android Store, and you can go ahead and download that right on your phone. And you can get on like your iPads and stuff too. And it's just, I think it's like 10, $15 a month, and has a ton of different workouts. Like I said, you can get the into bed ones, mobility. We have some more intense like strength training ones if you just like really want to build some big muscles. Um, yeah, we wanted to make sure that it was accessible to everyone, even overseas. So if you have friends in different countries who are in wheelchairs, like send it to them too, because we're global.
I love that. The reason why I'm asking so many questions is because I deal with newly injured girls all the time. And one of the main things is like, how do I start working out again? I need to start working out. Or they might like not talk for like a year and then all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, like I'm gaining so much weight inside of my wheelchair. Like I need tips. I need help doing it, and I send them a bunch of profiles and stuff, but that's pretty cool to have an app where all that is accessible. And we're seeing more of that in our community. So I love that you're here for the fight, and it's going to create a whole nother generation of healthy disabled people, and people that know what to do, what resources are out there, how to move. We're teaching physical therapists like, hey, look, no, there's ways to do this accessibly, instead of just throwing stuff at us that are for able-bodied people. So I think that's going to be huge for our community, and yeah, excited to have you on.
Thank you.
Okay, so Lizzie, what do you have going on in your life right now? What are you most passionate about?
Girl, oh yes. Well, I got 3 kids, so school started, and my oldest daughter just started kindergarten. And then, if you follow my story on Instagram, I started working full time, but I work at home, so that's new. I'm just trying to juggle everything,
Mm-hmm.
apart from the kids, the housework, my
Yeah.
husband, and then my disability on top of it. It's not even just me, it's like my disability.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just learning how to juggle and balance everything right now. Like that's kind of like my main focus because
And
everything's all.
how's that been for you? How has that juggling been? Like, what has come your way, or has it been working out, or what's your feedback?
It has really like um tested my time management,
Mm-hmm.
everything, because it takes longer to do things, versus being able-bodied. So it's like, getting my kiddo from the bus stop at a certain time to be able to come home and feed the little one and get her occupied so then I can log on and start my work day, and then just like juggling it in between work breaks and everything. So,
Do you feel
yeah.
like it's something that you want to stay consistent in, or that you feel like you can manage with like a time? Because of course everything's kind of hard when you first start it. Do you feel like you're just kind of getting over those beginning humps, or how do you feel about it? Because I know the reason why I'm asking this is because so many people are scared to go back to work after their injury, me included, because I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to give that dedication to my work life and have my disability and all this other shit on the end. And I don't even have 3 kids, girl. So I mean, I feel for you, So like I'm really curious, like what made you interested in doing this? Like why'd you start doing it? And if you want to continue this journey, like you see it's something you're doing.
Yeah, well, um I want to be right. I was told in my rehab, my therapist, he's like, you can be as independent as you were before. He's like, the only difference, you're just sitting. But that's all he always told me was like, you can be as independent as you were. You don't need nobody. So, right, like it was right. It's like we don't live in the 50s anymore. We don't have the ability to live comfortably off of one income. And then especially right now with the inflation, like
Uh-huh.
so right, for me to continue, I feel like, for me to continue to be independent the way that I want to be, right? Because eventually I want to drive. I'm to the point where I'm sick of being chauffeured around by everybody and
Mhm.
being on everybody else's time. Um, so it's like I want to save up for. Mom. Okay, go lay down and watch your phone, please. Um, sorry, she made me
No, it's
forget my
okay. So
train
you
of
want to
thought.
be into independent in driving, and you feel like working is going to help you do that, or is it just like getting the money to make your vehicle accessible, or is that what you're working
Oh
towards?
yeah, sorry, now I remember. Yeah, to like, to get a car to make that vehicle adaptable for me. So it's just like, my husband's not the only one that has to take me and the kids everywhere, right? I can do what it is I want to do as a mother for my kids, especially with two of them in school now.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I would say like that was my push, and then to be financially independent, because living off of social security and a set income every month, again, it's hard, especially when you got a family and little ones that do depend on you. It's hard, it's challenging, but obviously we made it do up until this point.
So if you're, let me know if you don't want to talk about this, but with being on SSI and working, how is that? Because I know a lot of people struggle with trying to keep their benefits and working, and if working is going to be more beneficial than keeping their benefits. So is it like the price different? Are you getting like a significant more amount?
I'm still in the process of like really figuring that out. um I got a meeting with an someone from the office here in the next week. Um, so I'm still trying to like figure all that out, but I feel where I landed employment wise, I'd rather just stay employed and forget Social Security.
Hmm. Okay, okay, love it. Yeah, let us know. Fill us in when you like get a little bit more stable with that. We'd love to have you back on and talk about it because I know it also is a big hump that people try to get over, and we kind of feel like in a chokehold by the system, and it's kind of hard right now, especially with inflation, especially with jobs not wanting to pay what you're worth and stuff. It's definitely difficult. So we would love to hear more about your journey and kind of like dig more deeper into that. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yes.
Nikki says congrats. Ruby says you're amazing, Lizzie. And Nikki says you will drive. Financial independence is the goal, baby. Yes, I totally agree. Francis says, I love you. Thank you so much for joining. Feel free to drop your chats if you guys are just hopping in with us. We appreciate any questions that you have. Feel free to throw them in there. Okay. So Ashley, what do you have going on? What are you most passionate about in your life right now?
Okay, okay. So currently, I guess what I'm most passionate about, I'm always passionate about helping them, excuse me, helping the disability community since day one, advocating, whatnot, the vibes.
Mm-hmm.
But also been really passionate about my clothing brand, LL Official. Wearing it right here.
Woo!
Yes.
Fire!
So
Yes, we
I
need our party noise, Shawn. He's trying to get it for us. Woo!
yeah,
Congrats. Okay.
baby.
So how has
So
that
yeah,
journey
that
been for you?
it's been so starting a clothing brand has been something I always wanted to do. And then after becoming disabled, obviously like the vision changed. It wasn't the same. And then back in January, I decided to finally stop being a baby and invest in myself. So I invested in a mentor who basically helped me start the company and like make sure I was doing everything right so that it would be legally, I wouldn't get like any pushback later on. And so I've been working on this since January. Finally, like, did a soft launch right before the Rolettes experience in July, and then officially launched August 20th at 420 because that just seemed fitting.
Yes, love it. So that's
And let
so
me,
much. That's beautiful. I mean, so who is this mentor? So what made you even think about
yeah,
investing in them? Were you like following them or like what?
yeah. So actually, the mentor is someone that I follow who currently owns, like, she also has an e-commerce business, and she's based here in Chicago. So I kind of found her just through like social media because a friend of mine was modeling for her company. And so I just started following her and I was like intrigued. Like, she literally grew. I think she launched her company. Well, she changed the name and everything, like kind of rebranded, I think back in 2019. Don't quote me. But like she literally grew her following and her business during like COVID in 2019. And I just thought that was amazing. So she started doing mentoring classes and it wasn't like terribly expensive, if you're like, if you believe in yourself. So I did it, and it was supposed to just be a 5-week course, like just for January. It was one we met once a week, and it was just supposed to be 5-week course. We ended up having the course until like mid March because she really wanted to make sure that it was me and it was me and one other girl that's trying to start like an e-commerce. So she was just really trying to make sure that we were on track to do everything by the book and not like get put in jail from our business.
Yeah,
So
that's super cool. I mean, that's cool that there's people out there because I know like that's a lot of like questions. It's like, what do I do? How do I start? Or, who do I trust? Like, so I think that it's definitely a risk to do it. To want to believe in yourself, but risks worth taking. Nothing good
it
comes without
was,
risk. So it's better to try it and do something and maybe even go through who actually went through so that way that that it's like a legit, do some research on them and stuff. But that's something that you're open to, is investing in yourself. So how long did it take you to, because I know you're not rich neither, so like did
oh
it
yeah.
take you like having to put money aside, or like what self-talk did you really have to do to be like, no, I need to put money into this?
So good question. Thankfully, I've always been pretty good at like budgeting and saving money. So, like, I had the money, but of course, that was like I said, the class ended in March, and I didn't launch till like late July. And that was big. A major reason was because I wanted to make sure that I was financially ready to put money, because obviously you have to purchase, your own shit, if you the back end. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes that I didn't know, and it's definitely a learning experience. And you definitely want to make sure that you're budgeting and not overbuying or underbuying, or I don't know, you just want to make sure you're, not wasting any money, essentially. And so my first drop that I did, I was really nervous because I didn't want to spend money I didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
But I also still wanted to make sure that I was getting my message out to enough people and buying enough product. But
Mm-hmm.
you definitely want to make sure that you have your budget all lined up.
Yeah, that's
So
so
yeah.
important. Yeah, I think that that's really important. And, I think you have to start somewhere. So, where you say it's like a learning experience, it's like everything's going to be a learning experience. So, don't be afraid to fail, and take that leap, I would say, because we need more disabled, badass bosses in this community. So, I'm all for it.
Yes.
That's so beautiful. I am so proud of you.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
like,
You guys are all doing amazing things
yes.
right now.
I got one more thing that I'm
I have a
passionate about
Oh,
that I'm
okay.
working on.
What's going on?
Oh, go ahead, Brianna.
So you are going to be a disabled business owner. Do you mind if I ask if you plan on like staying on disability, or do you plan on getting yourself off disability as well? Because as a business owner, I think that's a really interesting perspective for you to be able to share with our community as well.
Yes. So the goal, like I think someone put in the comments, financial independence, baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
But currently, I would, probably just be smart about it. I don't know. The financial side of things always scares me. Um, but eventually, that is the end goal. I'd like to get off SSI because that's just not a lifestyle I want to live. And I hate the government. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that's always like some people are like, don't get me wrong, there's some people who love, being on and getting the money for free. But a lot of people that you talk to and that we talk to, it's like, fuck, I just feel like I'm stuck. Of course I would love to start a business, but it's like, where's this money to start this business and not only start it but actually make money off of it? Not only up and make enough money that I can actually get off of government assistance. Like, it seems like a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of roadblocks that you have along the way. I mean, the government definitely does not make it easy for us. I feel like they do like us on this as much as they complain about it.
Yes,
They like to keep us in a chokehold. So
really do.
it's complicated, and don't feel like you're behind. I feel like I'm hard on myself that way a lot too, because obviously I don't have all the money in the world, and it's like, of course, like you see somebody doing it and you're like, damn, I wish I could do it like them. But it's all in your own time. You have to be on
Yes.
your own path, your own journey, and you have to not keep on comparing you or your business to anybody else. So I think that's some advice I would say.
Yes, and it's definitely like, there is a lot of clothing businesses out there and just businesses in general, especially during the pandemic. A lot of people wanted to be an entrepreneur, which, yay, I'm proud of them. But you
Hmm.
definitely got to make sure you're bringing something to the table that no one else is. And like
Hmm.
I saw that my sister commented, period, it's more than clothing. I see such big things for my brand. Clothing is just the start. Clothing is just to get the mission out there. But I'm gonna keep it hush because in case it don't happen, I don't want to be someone that talks the shit that I don't do. But I have big plans for LL Official, so I'm excited.
Yes, I love it. Was that the second thing you were gonna say, or were you gonna say anything else?
Oh no, I also wanted to say, um, I also started writing again, which is something that I used to always do when I was before my injury. And on my website, shopllofficial.com, you can find my blog now. So I started
Oh
doing
my
that
God,
again.
that's huge. That is so huge. I've been watching your growth over the period of you being on this show and a guest. Yes. We love it, girl. I am so fucking proud of you. I can't even fucking express it. Like, that is a huge thing and so, so big. And I think you're also going to push other girls that feel the same way to have that, boost of confidence and be like, know what, you can do it regardless, what you're using or how you get your message out there. Like, your brain is like nobody else's. Love
Yes,
that for you.
period.
That's
Yes,
beautiful.
me too.
Okay, so let's see. We kind of got carried away with that question. We want to talk about. I wanted to
Dude,
get into it with you guys. These are all great, very great subjects that people have these questions about, and want to know. So, okay, so the next question is going to be, do you still feel judged by society for smoking cannabis? What are some experiences that make you feel this way? So, being judged. So, how has that been for you, Lizzie? Maybe for being a mom, do you feel judged, or on social media? What are some of your experiences with that?
Yeah, I would say, um, am I afraid of judgment? No, I really don't. I'm getting to a point where I don't care what people think. That was me before my injury, attitude wise. Um, but when it comes to like, being a mom and stuff, and then also like, coming from like a Hispanic family, which is like, you're smoking. You shouldn't be smoking. And then especially like, after I had my kids, they're like, you're a mom now. You definitely shouldn't be smoking. But since I got injured, and it's like, no, I'm not smoking just to like smoke or whatever. It's like, no, this helps me get through the day. This helps me take care of my kids. My family is more open to it, so they see it totally different. Um, but other than that, no, I'm not afraid to feel judged
Mm-hmm.
because
Love it.
one, it's nobody's business. If you're not providing for my habit, it's none of your business. And two, it's like they're not your kids. It's none of your business. So mind yours.
I know. I love your
Period.
attitude so much. I feel like I struggle sometimes with like people pleasing people and like wanting to make everybody feel like the most comfortable. And like you and Ashley is like that too. I always like just love your guys' vibe because I envy it, honestly. um Great thinking. Okay, how about you, Bree? How is it? So you said it isn't really like open with edibles and stuff like that. So how has it been for you, like joining this new fitness journey and maybe like being judged in the past, or how's your experience been with this? Do you care? Do you not care?
In the past, I definitely felt more judged with the smoking and like being labeled like a stoner and lazy and like unproductive and stuff like that. But it's really interesting because I smoked all through high school. I was a straight A student. I helped raise my sister. And I mean, the things that I know that I accomplished while smoking weed, like I just never let like kind of like she was saying, I just never let their opinions bother me. And now that we're in a day and age now in the 2022 where it's not as bad as it used to be. I mean, there's still places where you can get judgment. Like I am in a different state, and there is a little more judgment here. But I think the biggest thing for me is like I come from Wisconsin and everyone drinks there, and like drinking is just casual Sunday Bloody Marys, breakfast, no big deal, but then you'd be judged for smoking a little bit of weed. And that was my big deal. Like how can you wake up and drink vodka and tomato juice, but then judge me for wanting to smoke a little bit of weed? Like that was the biggest thing for me. And I wish society would change their views on that. Is comparing it to like drugs and alcohol, because weed is not a drug and it's nothing like alcohol.
Hmm. I That's so funny that you make that comparison because I feel like that's where I get a lot of frustration with my boyfriend's side of the family because they're all party drinker, but as soon as we need a smoke break, it's like huge judgmental eyes and it's like a big deal. And it's like it's very curious. It's like I'm curious, to know, but I feel like also I give them a pass because society has taught them that it's unacceptable. It's been illegal for so long, so they're not into like the new research of it and like how it helps and all that stuff. My family has also given me a pass since I've been disabled, so they're kind of like, you're allowed to smoke, but they still do talk shit about it. I still get those stoner comments, and I still get those like, oh wow, like you need to smoke, or they'll call me out like someone needs to smoke, like you go smoke, like how much I end up smoking, and it does feel, you do feel judged, you're like, fuck, it's smelling, they know I'm smoking again, like it's like sucks. But again, talking about the beginning, and what I wanted to mention is like they're not seeing that inside pain, and it's also not using it as an excuse, don't get me wrong, because there still is addiction part of it, right? So if you're laying at home, you're not doing nothing, you're eating up all the Doritos and you're just fucking living life smoking weed all day. It's a difference than using it to be productive or using it to, grow, uplift you, change your mindset, be creative, different steps like that. So I do feel like there is a line with it. I understand people's point of view with that. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think people understand the people can function off of weed too. Like that hasn't gotten through the non-stoner's head. Like I understand you can just take a hit and you're faded off your ass, and I can smoke a whole blunt and you're like, oh my gosh, like you have problems. Do you need to go to rehab? And like it's like, what the hell? So I definitely struggle with that. It's super hard for me. Ashley, what has your experience been with it?
Sorry, people in my house coming home. So makes me so awkward. But
No, I feel you. Same thing's happening right now. We're gonna push
so
through.
for me,
We're gonna push
we're
through.
gonna
Life's
push
trying to
through,
tear us down, not brag about our goals and our experiences, but it's
right?
okay.
No, people keep coming
Okay.
home. But for me, judged by society, I don't know. So I started smoking when it became legal here in Illinois, the state of Illinois. So most of my judgment came from like people in my real life. Like I feel like when I'm out in society, I don't really care because I have this mentality that we're not going to normalize weed unless we like smoke it in public, right? So so that
I
doesn't
feel
ever
you.
bother me. It's more like kind of like what you guys were all saying, is people not understanding how much it actually does help. And then they are like, you know, making the making the comments you're a pothead or you smoke too much, and you're like, if only you like could feel what I feel and like how it actually does help and benefit my lifestyle, then you would understand. And I just don't
Mm-hmm.
waste my time arguing with people trying to explain that to them because you know you'll get used to
Yeah,
it. You'll end up getting used to the fact that I smoke.
yeah, I totally understand. It's hard to kind of put your foot down in that sense of like listening to your body. And honestly, my community has helped me a lot. My other disabled peers like normalizing it and letting me know like, no girl, like nothing's wrong with you. Like even my dad made a comment like nobody smokes with you even if they're in a wheelchair, and I was like, no, they do. I fucking smoked with them, you know. Like and it just like, no, that reassurance for myself, because if I didn't have that to lean on, I would be thinking like, fuck, is that true? Like, you know, am I smoking too much? Like, do other people smoke like me? You know, like, does it really help me? Am I delusional? You know, like you start questioning all these things inside of your head, so it can get overwhelming. But yeah, I definitely feel you. Ruby, thank you so much for our super sticker. She said $19.19, $20 for us. And she said, thanks for being you. Great show, ladies. Y'all are both amazing. Brianna, she shouted you out too. She said, great job. She's been active in the chat. Ashley, she said, great job, that you're amazing too.
Thank you.
And you too, Lizzie. She shouted you out. Thanks for being you, with hearts popping out of his eyes. Used a little emoji. So cute. Thank you so much for your support. We really do appreciate the super stickers. I promise you're not just like giving us super stickers so we can go buy some weed. It's not like that. Like, you really are helping us with our business grow, and go and share our content to other people. And of course, it's so hard for us to ask and to be vulnerable in that sense. But unfortunately, like this conversation has proved, money kind of makes everything go around, you know? So unfortunately, we need it. And so we have to be vulnerable and asking for it, and for showing up each week and hoping that you guys can take in the content, and that you guys appreciate it, and that you guys like it, you know? So yeah, it's always our goal to just reach more people. Okay, so that's been great. So what are your top 3 moments where you were proud of yourself this year, Lizzie?
Top 3. Dang, I don't. Caught me off guard. I would say getting a job for one. Also, I always say I live in an accessible apartment, because our apartment, it's very spacious and everything, so my wheelchair fits everywhere. The only bad thing is when it comes to getting outside of our complex, there's always a curb, and it's higher than like the sidewalk curb, so to get back in I do need a little bit of help, because there's no rails or anything to help me like put myself back up. So my grandparents had gotten me like this portable ramp, and my husband went and talked to our office, and they talked to corporate, and they allowed us to leave that ramp there so I can get in and out. So
That's great. I love that. That's huge for your independence. People don't realize those little things, that little bump that you never even realized was there, can be, you know, change our lives. It can be really hard. It can keep us from living our lives, you know? So I agree with you. And I think that's so great that you figured it out, and that you did it, and that they allowed you to, for speaking up for yourself. Learning how to advocate is not easy. So yeah, getting a job is another big one as well. And let me just shout you out for your dedication on your Instagram too. That's not always easy to show up vulnerable on there. And I always see you super active, posting, motivating people, pushing people, you know, at your most vulnerable state. And I appreciate that. It helps me get me through. There's many posts that I save of yours, you know. So I just want to let you know that I appreciate it. And I'm sure other people appreciate it in the community too.
yeah, of course. Thank you. Yeah, a couple of the Will homies had reached out to me this week, and they're like saying that they want to look for work, they want to start working. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude! If I can do it, you can do it. So we can do it. Like,
Yes,
believe in
I love
yourself. Let's
that. I
get
love
it.
that attitude. No, sometimes you don't know unless you're told, and that's where my dedication comes in this so much. It's like seeing the difference in people's life when I give them this little tip, or if I just give them this little bit of motivation, if I feed a little bit of love and support into them, how much that their mindset can change, and how much different it is when you don't have that. You know, people don't realize what they're kind of missing without the community. But yeah, I love that. Um, so, Bree, what were your top 3 moments that you're proud of this year?
I think the top 3 moments that I am most proud of is moving, because that was really challenging to leave my family. I graduated college, so after 8 years, I graduated with a bachelor's degree and a minor in criminal justice, so that's really amazing. And then just pushing myself like out of my comfort zone, doing the transfers that seem really scary, getting rid of my transfer board, going into a different type of wheelchair that's a little bit smaller, things like that. Like I'm really proud of pushing myself out of my comfort zone and just kind of gaining a little more independence than I did at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
I love that so much. How about you, Ashley?
Okay. So 3 most proud of. I'm proud of launching my clothing line, obviously. That's a big one. I was really proud of myself for doing that.
Yes.
I'm proud of myself. I actually will be, I don't know how many people we have from Chicago in here, but I will be at the Logan Square Farmers Market this Sunday. And I'm so happy
Okay,
that
okay.
such a
That's a big
random like,
step.
opportunity. Yes. And I'll be there selling my clothes. So I'm really proud of that. And it's a like farmers market I grew up going to. So I just feel like it's like kind of cute. And then the third one, another thing I'm proud of, I guess similar with Brianna, this year I called it like get out of my own way year. And I've finally started like going out into the world doing things by myself, just like little things, but I'm proud of myself for even just doing that. So yes.
Yeah, that's super big. And let me just throw out that road trip that you took. I mean, I'm
Oh
fucking
yes.
proud of you for that. That was huge, girl.
Period.
That Rolex trip, that was a
Hard.
big trip. So maybe just give us a little rundown. How many hours was it? 80?
It was a total of probably like no, not what am I saying? Like 24 hours, 25 hours maybe? No, 30. It was 30 hours.
Yeah,
What am I saying?
30 hours to get
30
out to
hours.
LA, and they drove the
In
whole
my
way.
chair.
That's so crazy. That was huge. And just being around that many people and taking that experience. And yeah, so that's been super fun. And
Yes.
something that I'm also proud
Vlog
about
on
too.
YouTube channel.
What'd you say?
I said the vlog's coming out on our YouTube channel all right
Oh,
all
yeah.
this week. Go watch. Oh look who it is.
Hi, Nikki.
Hi you
You
guys.
came just in the amount of time.
Yeah, everybody in.
We miss you. We love you.
Love
Did
you
you have a
guys
long
too.
day
I love
today?
the conversation. I was listening on my way home.
Okay. Thank you so much. I know you've been in the chat supporting us.
Love you,
Appreciate
love
you.
you.
We got JJ Mack from the UK. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it so much. Okay, so let's see. So top 3 moments as well. I would just like to mention it's been super hard to just do some self-work, self-reflecting, to draw boundaries like in my life, to not only focus as myself as a disabled woman, but just who I am as a person, who I want to be, and kind of digging deeper on that, and doing the hard work, focusing on the flaws, focusing on, not letting life get you down, and the tools to kind of get through that. So I've been super proud of myself for that, and seeing the growth. And just showing up, doing this live to roll thing has been a journey and so much fun for me. I was really scared to do it and really hesitant, and I did not want to, honestly. And it has just brought so much joy into my life. It helps keep me going. And there's something so beautiful about being able to help other people. And like we've been talking about, and getting back that feedback, and something that just keeps me motivated and pushing in my own life too. Is realizing there's a purpose. There is bigger things out there in the world, because if it was up to me, I would have gave up a long time ago. And the fact that I'm still here talking, sharing this story, and there's somebody out there listening that cares is more than most of the population in society can say. And a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people go their whole lives without having this type of effect on other people's lives. So if you're given that gift, it's a beautiful thing to share, and don't hide it, and don't feel like you are just the same as somebody else, or your words or your thoughts or the way you put things don't matter because there's all these people that are doing the same thing. No, there's somebody that's going to gravitate to you, to your story. We're all snowflakes. We're all different. So let me just feed some motivation into you guys, and you guys realize that you got this. So last but not least, let's finish us off with, if you could talk to the disabled community as a whole, but could only bring up one topic to talk about, what would it be, and what would your advice be on it? So let's go to you, Brie.
Confidence. Be confident in yourself. It's really hard, and I know I'm still on my own confidence journey. I've been doing it for about a year and a half now myself, but Pour into yourself. We've kind of talked about it a lot. Read some personal development books, take some courses online, watch some YouTube videos. Find what it takes to find something that makes you confident and that like brings you joy, and find your purpose, because there's something out there for you. Like your life isn't over with. That's what I would say.
Yes, love it. Let's go to
Yes.
you, Ashley.
Okay, my piece of advice is, I feel like I say this all the time, but it really works for me. So I want to give it to everybody else. Do something at least once a day that makes you happy. Because you can,
Yeah.
at least for me, I can get wrapped up in, disability is like a full-time job. It takes a lot of time out of your day. But do something once a day that makes you happy. That doesn't have to do with your disability, doesn't have to do with your job, doesn't have to do with like obligations you have, just something that makes you smile and you could just be for a second. So that's my piece of advice for the
Oh,
community.
I love that. That gave me chills. Yes, that's important. Sometimes we forget to feed into ourselves. How about you, Lizzie?
Um, I like to quote my Uncle Bobby.
Okay, we
um,
love
always told me it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay.
It's your own race, so take it at your own time. Just because you see someone who are, I guess like myself, for example, 3 years in as a mom and starts working full time, you like don't hold that expectation for yourself. No, take your time, do what you got to do to make sure you're okay in all forms, and then go tackle the big stuff.
Yes, I love that. And I think it's also important to remember that it's not just you as a disabled person, or you're not weird for feeling these feelings. Like, even able-bodied people struggle with comparing their lives to other people. Like, we don't see it and we don't view it, and we're like, how can you go over there wishing that you had something more, but it's like almost in our nature to like want, and it can be easy to fantasize other people's lives. So I just want to say,
Yeah.
people go through their blessings at different points of their life, but they also go through their struggles. So just because they're on top right now and you're on bottom doesn't mean that position's not going to change tomorrow, a week from now, or even a year from now, but it does switch. There is a lot of switching going on. um, so yeah, I would definitely say to work on your self-love and your mental health. I think a lot of people miss the mental health part and miss the working
Good.
on them personally part, and the I need to love myself, and I need to look in the mirror and tell myself I'm beautiful and believe it. And of course, going out into the world, being independent, all those things are very important, but I see it constantly happen a lot in our community, where they kind of put that above their feelings and how they're dealing with emotionally, who they want to be in their life, if they want to work on their patience more, if they want to work on their humor, or how they respond, or maybe their anger. There's different things that we have developed in our bodies and who we are that we might not like, and that's okay. But sometimes it's easy to like focus on what other people are doing to us and not really what we're doing to ourselves. So I would definitely say, take a step back, read a self-help book, do some exercises, journal, do that self-work, dig deep. Is it going to be fun? No, it's not going to be fun. It's kind of frustrating. You're like, why am I doing this to myself? I have all these emotions, but it feels good to cry it out sometimes. It feels good to get to the root of the problem sometimes, why you're feeling that way, why this thing triggered you. That's another thing. Find your triggers. Find what bothers you in your disability or without your disability. It's very, very important to do. And I think once you realize that, you'll be like, even noticing like your body, like, oh, if I am sitting for too long, or if I'm leaning this way too long, it's gonna make my spasms go, so you're learning your body that way. Or whatever it is, whatever it is inside of your life, I think you need to pay attention to your body, love yourself, and work on yourself and grow. So yeah, mental health is so important. Therapy is so important too. I know a lot of people are against it. Let me just throw it out there. We have a therapist on our channel that is on every single week, Jessica. Her channel is Take Control Therapy, and she has taught me a lot about my life and about things that, why I feel the way I feel, why I get this anxiety attack, why this might make me more depressed than somebody else, and how I could work through that, how I can get better at it. Life doesn't stop throwing you obstacles, but you can change the way you react to those obstacles, and it does affect your life. I can tell you from experience, I laugh more, I'm more happy, I enjoy life, I look forward to the future more than I ever did even as an able-bodied woman, you know. So yeah. Okay, any last words on that note from anybody? No, we good?
Yeah, no, I think we're good. Follow Shop LL Official so we can make it to 200 followers, please.
Yes. Make sure that you follow all of us. Our Instagrams are on the tag, and we'll add Ashley's in on the bio as well. Make sure that you go check her out. If you're watching this, make sure that you also subscribe to the channel. We're trying to reach 10,000 followers right now. We reached our 1,000 goal mark, so we really, really appreciate you guys for all the love. That support matters. Those little likes and stuff with the algorithm really do matter. So any little comment on the video, your likes, we appreciate all that stuff. Sharing the video, it really does help us just get to the top of other people's feeds. And we're not forcing them to watch the video. It's kind of just popping it on their feed so that they could see the title if it fits them or not. But unfortunately, without the algorithm, those likes and those comments and stuff, we don't get to be able to reach that top. So yeah, that's why we are so persistent in it, and we really do ask for all your help and support in it. Our sponsors, mobility professionals and urology professionals, they are wonderful. Urology professionals helps me get my catheters quick, easy. They help me with all my questions. They help me with getting stuff on time. Like, I never had to fight for my catheters before with them, and I had to experience that the first like 4 years of my injury and not getting what I need. Sometimes there's been a time where I didn't know how to explain the saline and the tubings that I get. I still don't know how to explain it, where I can flush out my catheter. And I just like wrote them this awkward email, and they got right back to me. They're so great, and they know what they're talking about. The owner is a wheelchair user, so he has trained his staff to know how to respond to us, to know what we're saying. So we appreciate them. Mobility professionals, the same thing, but with wheelchairs. They fit you. They know what you need. They know what works best. They know what's fitting you. It might just seem like, oh, it's just a wheelchair. You know, it helps me get around. But sometimes little tweaks really do help you live a more independent and beneficial life. So that's that. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. We appreciate you guys. This was a great talk. If you're interested in being a guest, feel free to reach out. Send us a message. If you have any topics that you like us to talk about, send us a message. Do not be shy. Take that leap. If this podcast has taught you anything, take that leap. Take that risk. Do it, okay? So y'all take care and have a good day. Live to roll.